Alright everyone, we're back again with the part 2 for the Odyssey, The Darkness Rises, so let's jump right into it, not waste any time. Okay, so for this Odyssey so far, the balloons have gone a bit faster, the regular balloons have moved a bit faster, the ceramics are a bit stronger, and we're also playing on Alternate Bloons round, which means we're just dealing with a bunch of other craziness on top of that. I think we'll actually place Etienne right about here, because if we place him here, he gets a lot more of the track than if we just place him here. So I think we'll go with that, just because he's got such a wide range, it'd be a waste to misplace him like that. Okay, so there's Etienne. Now, what do we usually do from this point? I think... So, at the moment, it's just him and his drone. So we'll get a spike factory at the very back here, just as an extra layer of protection from whatever else we may miss at this point in time. Alright, let's get started. Okay, so obviously balloons are a lot faster than normal. Luckily though, it's not like fast-tracked, it's only 20% increase, so it shouldn't be too intense, but at the same time we can't let our guard down. Much like in the first video, we need to have our backup strategy of Spike Factory saving us. It's already saved us 14 lives, which is very good, because Etienne isn't the greatest hero in terms of popping power. Like, if you could choose any other hero, you've got, what, Adora, Striker, Churchill, all of them have much better popping power. They just might not have as much tech support as Etienne does. So, we're gonna go for a wizard monkey real quick. We'll place him... I think we'll place him somewhere here, just so he gets this part of the track and consistently places wall of fires in the right area. Okay, so it was a good choice to go wizard monkey. Pop those leads, set him to strong just to make sure it happens. Oh, we did miss one. That's fine though, because we've got these guys at the end of the track, but if we didn't, we could easily just hit restart here and give it another shot. So we only lost 2 lives, but it is a swift reminder that we need to amp up our wall of fire game. So essentially the reason I put the wizard here is just so that the wall of fire is really consistent just along this line. Like, I don't care about it in the loop necessarily, because if you're in a loop, then the balloons can fly past here, and then the wall of fire can be placed here, so it's kind of useless. But if you're on a straight line, it's a lot harder for him to miss, and it's a little bit more consistent. So we're just going to save up that little bit extra for the wall of fire, just because I think it's worth it in terms of popping power at the moment, and then we'll focus on everything else that we need. Okay, so there's our wall of fire. Absolute force to be reckoned with. And then once we can get our ninja to be popping camo balloons, even better. Alright, so those camo greens are pretty intense, but luckily we've got our beautiful spike factory at the end there. I'm just thinking round 24 is the first camo lead, so we need to get prepared for that. Obviously Etienne can't handle everything immediately. He's going to take some time to level up and get strong and be a lot better than he normally is. So we'll get the camo detection now. Okay, didn't save us from all the camo greens, but luckily our spike factory did. Okay, so now I want to try and get bigger stacks, or should we try and get a banana farm? It might be a good idea to get a banana farm now, to be honest. Because I think we're protected from most things, we just can't handle... No, I think we're protected from most things, so long as the wizard monkey nails everything that is lead, then we should be fine against most things. So we'll just take it easy and see if we can get up our banana farm now. Because if we can make it up now, then the rest of the map's going to be easy. It's just from now until 40 how well we do, pretty much. Because if we can handle... Oh no, that seems like a lot. Oh, that was... Okay, that was a pretty late ability on my part, so... I'm sure we can do that, we just need to activate the ability a bit earlier. Okay, so, slowly, use the ability. We just need to make sure that we can pop most of those guys down to pathetic amounts of balloons. Okay, there we go, easy enough. Right, so Etienne's ability did save us there. Added a bit more firepower to our arsenal, which is beautiful. Get the greater production. Okay, that's fine because we have our wizard set up. Now, I do want to upgrade our last line of defense because it is very poor at the moment. Okay, we might need to do the thing again for this round. Oh, it doesn't look like we'll lose too many lives, that's fine. We can handle that. Okay, let's upgrade this guy though. Because clearly he's been saving our butts way too many times for us to just leave him by himself. Okay, and then we'll slowly get the valuable bananas upgrade. Do we want to use Etienne's ability here? I don't think it'll be necessary because of Wall of Fire. But it's not a bad idea if you are getting stuck. Always remember about your abilities. I always like to pretend they don't exist until I actually need them. So like, I'd rather let the balloons get to here on the way back and then like pause the game and then be like, right, okay, so strategy number 1 of just letting whatever happens did not work. We're gonna try strategy number 2, which is use the abilities and see where that gets us. Okay, so we seem to be doing really well, at least so far. There's nothing too hectic going on. We're managing to pop just about everything. Okay, so we'll get even more upgrades for this guy, just to be absolutely safe. And now, for round 40, I think we're gonna need a Spike Factory. Spike Factory? Attack Shooter. Okay, so they're not getting through our last line of defense, which is amazing. Let's get Attack Sprayer at the very least, and then we'll try and get Overdrive. And then once we get Overdrive, I think we'll be relatively sorted. We just have to wait and see, really, because Overdrive is insane. Overdrive has really intense popping power compared to like the Attack Sprayer before it. Like, don't get me wrong, this is good, but it can be a lot better. So we'll just wait on that. Once we get past 40, we'll start aiming for our bank, because it's pretty greedy to go for a bank right now. I wonder if we could though. That'd be interesting. If we manage to get a bank and then Overdrive. I doubt we'll do it before 40, but it'd be pretty nice if we could. Alright, so let's just get Overdrive here to be safe, because soon Etienne will be giving it camo detection, making it even stronger than it already is. It just won't be able to pop leads very well. But that's fine, because that's what our Wizard Monkey is for. Alright, so our backline of defense can pop leads, camos, purples, and regens. I mean, nothing can really not pop regens, but still. Our backline of defense is very strong with the Spike Factory. This guy can spray out massive amounts of damage and can now see camos, which is beautiful. Etienne can see camos, can't pop leads, but can pop purples. Our Wizard Monkey there can pop leads and camo balloons, so long as they're not purples. And we just got our bank up, which is beautiful, so we don't have to focus too much on that area. Okay, so now I think we're gonna go for the glue gunner. But I think we actually want to put it maybe on the back or middle half, just so that it can hit some things a little bit later on as well. Alright, we're just gonna see how we do against this without abilities. Okay, that's actually crazy good for us. So we didn't do amazing, like it still got quite far, but we didn't have to use an ability, and we beat a fortified Moab. That is very promising for our future in this game, at least. Maybe not in the next map, but for this map, at the very least. So this will be a longer video, because first of all, it's going to be 3 maps instead of 2, and second of all, it's alternate Bloons round, so there's really not like a lot that I feel confident in being like, yeah, I'll just skip ahead until we get the 5th tier, because the alternate Bloons round hits different, man. It's different. We definitely won't be able to just casually skip like 20 rounds and be like, yeah, we're safe. No, definitely not. Luckily though, we're only going to 80. Last map we went to 90, but even then, that wasn't too much of a problem for us, really. Just keep an eye on your bank, make sure it's not getting full behind your back, and should be good. Okay, so now that Etienne's given everyone camo detection, we're pretty alright. Now, ooh, fortifieds. I think we'll be good for fortifieds. We seem to be good for fortifieds at the very least. Okay, another Moab, another 2 Moabs, another 3 Moabs, should be fine. Yeah, we're perfectly fine here. Okay. Alright, so I did reply to this comment, but I just wanted to let you guys know for this episode. A lovely person called SGB Gamer has asked me in the comments what to do if you don't have Etienne. Now, Etienne is a lovely hero and is really good for support, but obviously it's not the only hero that you can choose for this Odyssey. So, the ones he mentioned in particular was Adora, Striker Jones, and Churchill, as like the heroes that he's allowed to use, and he can't use Etienne because he hasn't bought him yet, but that's perfectly fine. So for maps like these, we start off with around what, 1,800 cash minimum, and then like 5,800 maximum. I'm just doing that to make sure the round goes smoothly, just because we haven't versed. Oh, that's a fortified ceramic. Okay, we managed to deal with it though. But yeah, because we're starting off with so much extra cash in these game modes, Captain Churchill is actually very good. Like, starting off with him isn't a bad idea. Because it costs so much, a lot of the times people will dismiss using him just because if you don't get a hero early on in the game, he's not going to level up very fast. But Captain Churchill is actually a really good hero for this game mode because of how much starting cash you get. So since you start off with around 1,800, if you use the monkey money, or not the monkey money, if you have the monkey knowledge to increase your starting cash, you pretty much can afford him straight away, whatever round you're starting on. And if not, you can start off with like a light defense, like a 022 wizard to get you started, and then you can focus on like getting Churchill, which shouldn't be too difficult. And then for the rounds where you start off with 5,000 or 6,000-ish cash, you can place Churchill right away. Churchill can pop leads straight away. He can learn to pop camos. It does take a few level ups though, so you have to be a bit on the ball with that. But overall, Churchill's not a bad pick if you can't choose Etienne. I would probably choose Churchill second. You just need to make sure that he's in a good spot to hit like down straight lines if possible, because he does have a lot of like pierce. So if you put him here, it's not great in terms of like, say if you put him in the middle of the map he can see a lot more, but he can aim straight down this pathway, which will absolutely destroy a lot of balloons. So that's my advice for Churchill. For Striker Jones can honestly be really useful, but it's very difficult for him to be useful in this, just because it's alternate Bloons round. Because his first ability, the one that stuns the biggest balloon on the screen, can affect Moabs, and that cooldown time is insanely quick. Like, you can use that repeatedly on the same Moab, like, 10 or 12 times even before it leaves the map. It's crazy how good that ability is. And considering we get a lot of bomb shooters, Striker Jones does have quite a few abilities, or quite a few upgrades while he's leveling himself up, that increase the effectiveness of bomb shooters, whether it's increasing the range, increasing its damage against black balloons, so that bomb shooters and Striker Jones can actually pop black balloons because they're usually explosive related. And yeah, honestly, I feel like Striker Jones is a decent pick, but if you can pick any of the others, it might be better. So he's not the worst hero in the game, I don't think. But maybe not for this Odyssey. I don't think doesn't fit well, or at least not too well. Not if you were given mortars as well, then Striker Jones might really dominate. But since you're only given bomb shooters, I'm not sure it's his time to shine just yet. And as for Adora, Adora is probably one of the strongest heroes in the game, and quite cost effective at that. The only problem is she can't see camo balloons, which can be quite difficult for Alternate Bloons round. But actually, we don't even know what we're going to get next. I guess we'll go for Attack Zone. But for Adora, you do have access to at least 6 Wizard Monkeys. Now, I know Shimmer isn't the most effective tool in the world, but Shimmer can actually help you out for Adora if you are lacking on the camo detection side. And Adora's abilities on their own, not her middle path ability, but her first and her third ability, are insane when it comes to damage output. It's actually crazy. So, if you don't know, Adora's first ability increases her range dramatically, as well as her damage and her beams of light that she can shoot out. Which just pretty much like doubles her damage, doubles her range, and just overall makes her a beast for however long the duration of the ability lasts. And then her third ability, her Ball of Light, absolutely crushes regular balloons and deals massive damage to Moab balloons. So if you're playing with Adora, it honestly shouldn't be too hard. You just need to watch out for those camo balloons while you don't have Shimmer. And that's this upgrade, by the way, for the wizard. Reveals the location of all nearby camo balloons permanently. So if you get 2, maybe 3 of those shimmers down, because one of them cannot like effectively get rid of all camo balloon properties, it's very sad. I wish they would buff it, but yeah, so Shimmer doesn't work too well solo, but if you have a couple or 3 of them, or even more if you really need it, Shimmer can work amazing wonders. Okay, so that's generally my my go-to advice for beating this map. If you don't have Etienne, all those other heroes are quite viable. Maybe not Striker Jones. It might be a little bit difficult if you're playing with Striker Jones, but once again, his first ability is quite insane. So if you can make use of that and protect yourself from camo balloons, you're going to be rocking it quite well. Because round 80 with a terrible setup can actually be quite good if you just have Striker Jones's first ability, and that unlocks at what, level 3? So even if you have a crappy even if I just had this for my defense for round 80, actually this is quite good. Even if I didn't have my like say my glue gunner, and I had this just for round 80, Striker Jones would make this like possible. Like maybe not 100% doable, but it would make this defense possible for round 80, which is just crazy in my mind. But yeah, it's true. His stunning power with that first ability is just off the charts. Okay, so we're trying to get up an Arcane Spike here. I'm surprised we actually managed to get 2 5th tiers before we got Arcane Spike, because in all honesty, I didn't expect to be able to get 2 5th tiers, let alone before round 63. It's just the power of the the bank, though. The bank is one of the best money-making towers in the game. Just by itself, you don't even need to go for like IMF loan or the 5th tier on it. The 3rd tier bank is crazy. It's literally crazy. Okay, so now that we've gotten that sorted, I think we can go for maybe some recursive clusters. Just in the middle here. So you set them on close so they're always attacking nearby, because you'd hate for recursive cluster to be shot over here and wasted on like one balloon that's running away, while there's a bunch of others trying to flood the field here. So if you set him on close, he'll always attack nearby, and then those explosives will reach over here, essentially. Okay, but we seem to be doing quite well. Round 73, and so far no hiccups or no major mishaps. I highly recommend using a Spike Factory for this Odyssey. Honestly, this Spike Factory has saved me so many times, even though we've only gone through the first 3 maps now. It's honestly been a lifesaver. Highly recommend it. Like, you wouldn't think Spike Factory would be all that good on a lot of these, just because after Permaspike got nerfed hard, a lot of people kind of just forgot about the Spike Factory existing. But to be honest, a 220 Spike Factory is really good. It's already popped 1,300. That's roughly 1,300 lives that we would have lost. And as you can tell, that probably would have ended the game. It's honestly just insane how good Spike Factory is. I really can't believe it. Especially for Alternate Bloons round, but it's a very handy backup strategy. And I don't mind relying on it in the slightest. Okay, so we got a lot of BFBs coming our way. We'll use Etienne's first ability here. And it might not be necessary, but just look at all that PS we get. All those darts going through all those BFBs, just absolutely shredding them and getting that maximum PS as possible. Okay, so there's our 2 recursive clusters. Might not be the greatest DPS in the world, but they will slowly start to rack up points in terms of balloon popping power. Maybe not Moab popping power though. Oh, we forgot to collect our money, that's my bad. Always keep an eye on your banks if you are using them. They are extremely helpful, and it is quite rude to forget about them. Okay, so maybe we just get like more overdrives just in and around this area, because they are quite good, and we need to start finishing off this list. Because we're getting to the end. We're at round 78, and we seem to be flying through. Honestly, the glue gunner is carrying very hard here. 50,000 pops, 23,000, 60,000. Etienne's been really good in terms of using his abilities to just make sure every situation's handled. But our tack shooter is absolutely dominating with over almost 200,000 pops. So really, the glue gunner was just leading up to the tack shooter being amazing. So if you had to choose one, tack shooter all the way. Alright, and then I guess we'll see if we can get another Arcane Spike up. This isn't the best position for an Arcane Spike, I'm just doing it because it really doesn't matter where we place anything at this point onwards, because we've pretty much won. I'm not even sure if we'll be able to afford an Arcane Spike in time. Oh, maybe. We'll see, we'll see. So, this is looking like the end of this map at the very least, and then we can move on to the next map, which I believe is Hedge? Hedge and then Downstream, I think. Hedge is one of the more finicky maps. We might need to use multiple Spike Factories for Hedge, just because I'm not too sure on how well we'll do. Oh, but for Hedge we start off with like 5,800, right? So maybe it shouldn't be too bad then. Alright, now we're up against the ZOMG, and we didn't make the money, but we can sell that now because it no longer needs to be on the map. Because let's face it, Banana Farm isn't going to add any extra damage to you, so if you really need to, and it's late enough in the rounds, and you're feeling comfortable, by all means sell it. Also, I've just realized we haven't used Etienne's second ability yet. Let's give that a shot. Just a barrage of missiles. Alright. And that is... what's this called? 4 circles? 3 circles? Loops? Loop or something? Alright, moving on to Hedge. Let's see how well we do. Alright, starting off with 6,000 cash. Very nice, very nice. Can Etienne fit in between these gaps? No, he cannot. Okay. But he can fit into this one, which seems just about a tiny bit wider. A teensy bit wider. Honestly, it does not look like it makes much of a difference between here and here, but apparently so. Okay, so probably place Etienne around here. Now, much like the second map, we're at 23, but we're going up against 24 soon, which means we do need some good popping power in terms of lead and camo. The only problem is wizard monkeys are quite fat, so they don't really fit in the map very well. So we might just put him right at the start. Is that a bad idea? That's potentially a bad idea. Okay, so we'll put him like here. It's going to be quite scary considering he's the frontline defense, and he's got so much room to mess up his wall of fire. Like, he could put it there for the first 10 seconds of the map. All the balloons flood through up till here, and then he just moves it straight to the front, letting all of them through. That's why I'm a bit worried about the placement so far, but I think we'll do alright. So, we want a tack shooter to be our spike factory, sorry, to be like here. Actually, no, that's a bit scary. We'll place him here. We don't want him right at the end, just because if we do see the balloons get through, we want time to be able to pause the game to restart it. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I, at first, thought it was a bit cheating, but after I realized there's 2 different versions of completing chimps, like completing chimps flawlessly and completing chimps with that, it made me realize that Ninja Kiwi actually doesn't mind us doing that. Alright, so we'll get bigger stacks to protect us. So, just to recap, my wizard monkey can pop camo leads. Etienne can pop the purple balloons, but he can't pop camo purples, and camo purples should just fly through and hit the spike factory, in all hopes. Alright, let's go. That's the only thing you need to worry about in this game, is purple balloons and lead balloons, if I'm honest. So we'll upgrade our banana farm, just because we do need to get an early start on that if possible. The earlier the start we can get on a banana farm, even better. Even just getting it to 200 is a lot better than just leaving it until late. Can we pop all those purples? Yeah, we can. Okay, we're safe. That's good, that's good. Those purple balloons are quite a menace. I think we can handle those. Yeah, we can handle all of them. But as you can see, like, this backline of defense isn't the greatest at the moment, so we're going to try our best to upgrade it. Get that faster production so he starts throwing out more a lot quicker and a lot sooner. I'd like to be upgrading my banana farm right now, but it's quite a big risk doing that this early on. Okay, so we're letting a few camos through, that's perfectly fine. We want to upgrade this to white hot spikes just in case our wizard misses anything. So as you can see, that's actually really bad for us. There's a lot of downtime once the balloons pass like the middle of the map for them to start regrowing, which isn't the greatest, but there's really not much we can do about that just yet. Okay, so here's my idea. We need, first of all, a tack shooter to be like maybe here-ish, around here, so that he can still see a good chunk of the map while he's not a tack zone. But at the same time, we're just putting him here to delay the regrow on as many balloons as we can. because in all honesty, the regrow balloons are what's gonna destroy our spike factory at the very end. And also, I'm quite worried about the first Moab here. Like, I think we'll be able to pop it. I'm just not sure how we'll handle all the fortified ceramics inside. So, I'll upgrade that real quick, just so that we're on time to get the bank between 40 and 50. Sorry, you guys can't really see the start of the screen. I just like to have the upgrade menu up when as soon as possible when we get the cash that we need. Okay, that's quite a lot, but our Spike Factory can handle it. It's no longer a child. It can handle quite a lot now, which is quite nice. Honestly, I've been tempted to do like a Spike Factory only run of some of the classic maps. Ooh, can we afford it? There we go. Also, do remember that almost every Odyssey so far, none of them have been... No, wait. Yeah. Out of every single Odyssey, no map has ever been chimps at all. There's never been a chimps mode. There's been a half cash mode, which I'd argue is harder, but there's never been a chimps mode so far. So, always remember that you can sell your towers. Honestly, selling your towers can make up so much of a difference if you're lacking in the firepower. It is insane. Like, right now, I've only got, what, roughly 2.5 grand? If I sell my banana farm right now, I've got 5 grand to spend. However, that seems like a pretty big waste of money, considering we're not in any trouble. But if you're in any trouble at all, and say, for example, you have a bank, you can sell that for 5,500. And don't worry, if you sell your bank, it'll auto-collect all the money in it before you actually sell it. So you're not actually losing any money when you do so. Okay, so let's slow it down a little here, just because we're coming up to the end of 39, and we want to use our ability straight away with Etienne to get those extra damaging darts in there. Okay. I know we'll pop it. It's just a matter of the fortified ceramics inside. That's the part that scares me. Okay, so we let one main ceramic through. I don't know how well our Spike Factory will do here. Okay, it did really well. Okay, that's perfect. So we'll speed it up now because until 50 there's probably no more fortifieds. At least that's what I remember. What should we go for? Let's go for something quick and dirty. We'll go for a Arcane Spike. I say quick and dirty just because it's a pretty cheap tower compared to like most 5th tiers. And essentially, Arcane Spike may as well be a 5th tier, in all honesty. So as you can see, we can pop regular mobs with relative ease. We let one red balloon through, but Spike Factory's got our back. He's already saved us 748 lives, which we can never repay back. We can only repay back, what, 74 at that, before losing. Okay, so we seem to be doing quite alright here. Arcane Spike will help us out a lot against Moabs. But we also need to think about getting our glue gunner up soon, because this guy is quite expensive to be buying before wave 63. I don't know how well we'll handle that, but I think we should be good. We're handling it fairly well now. Do we need to use abilities this round? It's looking like we're alright. Spike Factory once again can save us. Very nicely done. Alright. And as I was saying on like some of the earlier maps, the Spike Factory middle path can also be quite good, but it'll only be good against big single Moab targets. And now the only reason I say this is because once that Moab pops, because it's alternate balloons round, either 20% more health ceramics are going to come out, or 20% more health fortified ceramics are going to come out, and they will just clean up the rest of the tacks that are laying on the ground, or laying on the track. So it really doesn't matter if you're aiming to pop multiple, like, what do you call it? Multiple Moabs. If you're aiming to pop more than one Moab, your middle path spike factory isn't going to do so well unless you get Carpet of Spikes. That will really save you. Okay, so we're going to get spiked balls, just for now, because I'm not too sure about our defense for round, like, 63. And I don't think spiked balls will make all the difference, but it could make a big difference, and that's what I'm trying to make here. Okay, so there's our blue gunner on its way. We do need to save up some extra cash, but if you don't know, the bank fills up, like the bank with the with all the related monkey knowledge points fills up in around like 10, 13, like somewhere in between 10 and 13 rounds. And so by the time we hit 63, it'll be like 10 rounds later, and we should have around roughly like $8,000 or $9,000 to collect from here. And so I think we'll be well on our way to getting the balloon solver, but just in case, you know what, no, I'm going to try not to deposit, because that's a relatively new feature in terms of monkey knowledge, and it does give you quite a massive advantage. But I'm going to try not to use it just because a lot of you guys probably won't have the upgrade for it, and I think it would be better for me to showcase without using it, just in case. Okay, so spiked mines can be quite good here. I'm honestly not sure if they could solo 63, but if I couldn't get the balloon solver, I'd get the spiked mines. Like, if balloon solver, if like glue gunner was not an available tower, I'd probably go for spiked mines. Because I'm fairly certain, because already spiked balls, if we have a look at the description really quick, extra damage to ceramic and fortified balloons. And then spiked mines violently explode on top of that. So they already have increased damage against ceramics and fortifieds, let alone fortified ceramics. But they will also violently explode, which is just beautiful. 100% though, the top path 5th tier upgrade, the, well, I don't know what it's called, super mines or something, absolute waste of time and money. Like, you will not get that in this Odyssey unless you fully bank up, somehow have an amazing defense all the while doing so, and then really invest your time and money into getting it, because honestly, it's not worth it going for it. Okay, we called in the drones there just to be sure, but I think that was a clear victory on our part there. And don't be afraid to use your abilities if you're feeling like you're in a tight spot. Like, these Moabs, they're getting popped pretty late. I was tempted to use it, but it's not too bad. Okay, so this is round 62, so we'll turn off auto start here, just because we haven't got our glue gunner boy up yet, but we will. And we'll even use our ability here, just because I feel like too many ceramics can actually destroy this spike factory. Okay, and okay, this is actually really good for us, because we finished the round with the balloon solver, and yet our bank is full. So there's another 9,500 cash that we can do pretty much anything with. I don't think we'll need it at the moment, because we did just get balloon solver, which literally solves all problems. And now that Etienne has handed out his beautiful camo detection to everyone, we can start aiming for something like a couple of recursive clusters. Maybe, can we even fit them in the middle? I don't think so. So we'll try and put the recursive clusters, just group it around the front area here, just to make sure that we can pop anything that comes through. Anything at all. So since these guys can see camo, oh, did I put this guy on strong? No, I put him on close. Okay, good. Alright, so admittedly, I did think this was going to be the hardest map to do it on, but honestly, the Spike Factory made it really easy. Now, don't get me wrong, our back half of the defense is still not looking too great. So, I will probably put another Arcane Spike right about here. But besides that, our back half is looking quite fine, because our front half is dope. It's me and my friend have always pointed this out whenever we play together in BTD6, but we always only protect the front half and then just leave the back half alone and don't even touch it. And we find that quite worrying because we never have some sort of backup defense like this. But we just can't help it. We just think, oh, if we kill all the balloons here, then why do we need to worry about this part? Good times, good times. But yes, it seems like we're absolutely destroying these rounds, so we'll just throw in like another tack shooter here. Get even faster production, and then spike balls again, just to double up our protection at the back here. Okay, but other than that, we've pretty much gone through all of our towers once again. We have not placed a tack zone. That's what I was looking for. I was wondering where that was going. Here's the thing though, is tack zone able to see past the hedges? Because if not, I'll have to place him like there. If he can see past the hedges, then I'd probably place him in the same spot, to be honest. Okay, so let's just get this guy to a 4th tier. We do not care if he's a 5th tier or not at the moment, because we want that guy in the middle to be. Admittedly, if he can't see past the hedges, that's going to be very sad, and we're going to lose out on a lot of damage. But at the same time, he's in the middle of the track, which means he can spray up and down quite far. Now, don't get me wrong, up and down probably won't do a lot of damage, but it's sort of the diagonals we're aiming for, I guess. Alright, even faster shooting on its way. There we go. Alright. So we're not doing too bad. We can collect from our bank again very soon. End of this round. What are we up against? Oh, just a fortified BFB. It's fine. So we get overdrive. And now we're just waiting on a tack zone, because we've got literally no other towers to place. And all the towers we've placed so far are doing quite well on their own. Oh, we forgot to get this Arcane Spike as well. My mind's just been all over the place this match. But honestly, this is probably one of my favorite setups. Like, I know I said that I really like Ninja and Alchemist, but this isn't that bad. I quite like this, and I might use this in actual games for the future. So there's our Arcane Spike. We won't be able to get the tack zone unless the bank somehow spawns in like $10,000 right now, but even then it would be pretty hard to get the tack zone. But we seem to be doing quite fine without it. Our glue gun is catching pretty much every balloon that pops, and it's just destroying. Look at that, almost 100,000 pops. It's amazing. Wizard Monkey, 100,000 pops, easy win. 30,000 and 20,000 from the Recursive Clusters, and 30,000 from the Wall of Fire alone. As for the tack shooters, they're not doing so well. Obviously these guys have had no use so far. You've been doing a little bit of the work. Wizard Monkey has done nothing. This Spike Factory's done nothing. But this one has saved us over 1,672 lives, which is perfect. That's exactly what he's there for. He's meant to save us in case we have any problems heading forward. Alright. So we seem to be handling this quite well. It's looking like we're moving on to the final map. Downstream. Downstream can be quite tricky if you are like really tight for cash, and admittedly on the last map it is only starting us off with 1,800 cash, not the 5,800, I'm pretty sure. So we'll see how that goes, but overall I think we'll do quite well. I mean, we've done quite well so far. Look at these guys. Look at this chump trying to get through our defense. ZOMG. Pfft, you wish. Look at him go. Gets pops down to PFBs. Straight down to Moabs. Glue gun is not letting anything out of its sight. Alright. And now we're versing 2 ZOMGs and then we're done. Alrighty, so let's collect that, sell that. Still can't afford the tax zone, sadly. But we really don't need it at this point. Use the ability for fun. Use this ability for fun, because why not? We're on the last round. We can afford to do a bit of extra overkill damage here. Alright, now we're moving on to Downstream. Absolutely perfect. Alrighty, let's get it started. Okay, so as usual, 2,000 cash to start off with. Well, 1,800, but monkey money has helped me out immensely there. Where do we want Etienne? Do we want Etienne on the first half of the track, or maybe like a little bit later? I think we do want him in this first little section, if possible. Squeeze him in as tight as possible. And now we need to worry about... The early game's always the hardest for this game mode. Completely and honestly the truth. How much does this cost to remove? 350. I'm so glad it didn't finish that first part. Okay, so Wizard Monkey... Ideally, I'd want you like here. Which kind of sucks, because I'd have to remove this first, and then that would delay the Wall of Fire purchase. Do we ever start off with just a spike factory at the back? I don't think we do, because we'd be really terrible for lead power. Okay, we'll remove it and then see how we go. So I want a wizard right about here. It does mean though that he will be delayed in getting his Wall of Fire, which really sucks. But we seem to be okay without it. This drone is actually on point. I mean, look at it go. It's sniping down the lane. It knows exactly where to go. Even like the balloons that it misses, it knows that the wizard monkey's going to clean up. So he just kind of leaves them be. Oh, did I speak too soon? Might have spoken too soon. No, never mind. Absolute unit of a drone. Now, admittedly, one drone is actually really pathetic in terms of defense, but once we get this Wall of Fire going, it won't really matter. Because... Okay, admittedly, we might let a camo balloon through it at some point. Because, okay, so all of those guys are actually going to fly through. Maybe we should have started off with a spike factory. But yeah, this is the damage that starting off, like... a little bit less on cash can actually cause. Because what? We started off with 350 less cash because we decided to get rid of the rocks first. That has absolutely done madness to our early game. We've already lost, like, what? What's that, like 14? Is it 14? 16? 16 lives? Yeah, roughly. Around that mark. Don't quote me on that. Okay, so... yeah, we've lost a decent chunk of lives. Yeah, it was 16. What am I on about? But yeah, now that we get our monkey sense... Oh, we don't have monkey sense yet. Okay, so we're gonna lose a few more lives here. Okay, we're down to 49. That saddens me greatly. But, to be honest, if we didn't remove these rocks... then it'd be... Oh wow, we're actually losing quite a lot of lives here. Okay, so we're going to restart this just because I am not a fan of losing that many lives this early on. So we'll go Etienne. And maybe we'll put a Wall of Fire back here. Just for now, we'll have a Wall of Fire at the back here. I do want another one exactly where we were placing it before, but just for now, we'll have a Wall of Fire at the back here. It's not going to be as effective as it was in its original placement, but getting that Wall of Fire as well as the... well, I suppose we could just go straight for Monkey Sense, because Monkey Sense does a little bit more damage, and the Fireball on its own can pop lead balloons, obviously. Maybe Wall of Fire can wait like a couple more rounds. Because if we can see camos and then get Wall of Fire, then that will actually be quite good. because there are a few stragglers like that we saw that came out quite early. Admittedly, these guys are they're just going to clean up our spike pile. Oh, he just missed that guy completely. Okay, that's fine though. That's fine though. We managed to hold off without losing too many lives there. When it gets to the point where we're actually losing like real lives, that's when I start to worry a bit. But at the moment, we seem quite fine. Once we get this wall of fire, we'll be pretty good to go and kind of relax a little bit. Obviously not a lot, because we can still lose to quite a few things. But at the moment, we're not doing terribly. And we can always use Etienne's ability. We do have that on standby. Okay, there's the wall of fire. So we shouldn't have to worry all that much about these banks. But we should be quite good to go here. Alright, I think now we can remove these rocks fairly safely. Without too many repercussions. Come on. Thank you. Okay, so we want those rocks removed just because that's where we're going to be placing a lot of our towers, to be completely honest. Okay, we need backup. We need a spike factory backup right now, if we can help it. So we've got our purple balloon popping power, and soon to be camo popping power in terms of Etienne by himself. And then we've got our camo lead popping power. But that's just the thing. Some things are going to fly past, and that's why we'll have this boy, our favourite. Shouldn't have placed him so close to the end once again, but hopefully, with any luck, we won't need him. If we're lucky, we won't need our spike factory to carry too hard for us this game. Okay. We will upgrade him though, just in case. It's always better to be cautious than to be losing, in my opinion. Okay, not too bad. I think we should try and get our banana farm up soon because we are going to 90. We've done it before and we've definitely over-prepared, but definitely shouldn't underestimate 90 at all. Even if we did beat it before, doesn't necessarily mean we'll beat it again. Okay, but we managed to do some sick wall of fire placements there. The wizard has got this covered. Luckily, it's just when it comes to fortified camos that it can be quite difficult because the wizard can't do it in one hit, and if the wall of fire misses completely, then we're screwed. That was actually perfect. That was legitimately perfect. The drone popped every single one of those purples right before it hit the wall of fire, which meant that it wasn't immune, and it just died to it. Absolute madness. Alright, let's see how we do against these guys. The wall of fire should handle it fairly well. And then if not, then the tack shooter. Or the spike factory. I always get those two confused, I hate it. But we should be fine here. Regrow camos can be quite difficult, but I think your boy and his wall of fire can handle it. If not, we did just get white hot spikes, just in case. Because we have known the wizard to slip up a bit and allow lead to run through. We saw that on the last map, but we are prepared for it once again this time. I think it was this round actually, where the wizard messed up last time. But no, we seem to be doing quite fine. Alright, then we'll get that upgrade. So this is what I consider to be a decent spike factory, right? This is what I'd leave alone at this point, because you don't need to upgrade it anymore. Spiked balls are like a luxury upgrade, you know? You don't necessarily need them right now, but they can be helpful later on if you've got the extra cash to splash. Alright, so let's get ourselves a tack shooter. I had to force myself to say that because I was going to say spike factory. Honestly, I just can't stop myself. Alright. So then once we get overdrive, we'll head for our bank, as usual. This is like what I consider to be one of the best strategies for this map. For these maps. Spike Factory, Tack Shooter, Wizard, Etienne if you can help it. If not, there's plenty of others you can choose from. Like at the moment, Etienne still hasn't given full camo detection to everything, and it's around 35. But in all honesty, you should have decent camo detection before around 35. But if you don't, 022 Wizard can clean up a lot of your mess if you don't have a decent amount of camo detection up. Okay, so we'll go for our banana farm now, because I feel confident in our tack shooter as well as our wizard monkey in being able to clean this up fairly well. Obviously not leads. I wasn't talking about the leads, but for round 40, I mean. Okay. Get a better banana farm going up here. We really want to try and aim for getting the monkey bank in between wave 40 and 50. Doesn't matter when, just sometime during it, if we can help it. Even before it, if we can really smash it out, that'd be great. Because it takes like 10 to 13 rounds, like I was saying, for the monkey bank to fill up. But obviously if there's 2 lots of 10 to 13 rounds in between us and 63, then even better. Okay, so here's the Moab. We will use our ability just to make sure that he dies, and then ceramics are dealt with appropriately. Okay, good. Once again, Spike Factory, clutch. Alright, we'll get our glue gunner up now, place him like a little bit further away from a little bit behind the soon-to-be tack zone, if we can help it. And then we'll just start getting all these delicious upgrades here. Balloon dissolver, perfection. Balloon liquefier, when we can afford it, will be perfection. As you can see, even before you get to the balloon solver, balloon dissolver on its own is quite solid. Like, obviously this is just balloon liquefier, the next one in line, the description. But look at him go. Absolutely pops massive amounts of balloons. Like, admittedly, it's more the tack shooter that's doing the actual popping. But if left to its own devices to just kind of pop the ceramics and whatnot on its own, it wouldn't do too bad. It would not do terribly. Like, look at it go. It's popping all those guys down. Nice and easily. Okay, so we get the balloon liquefier. How is our bank doing? How's our favourite bank doing? Okay. Around halfway full, almost. A little bit worried, but honestly these are regular Moabs, so it shouldn't be too hard. We should have this fairly in the bag, so to speak. Okay, so now we've got 2 5th tiers to go for that are, wow, I didn't actually know they were roughly the same price. If not on the spot. I wonder if that's always been the case and I've just never noticed that. It's a sign that these two should always be working together. Honestly though, if you get any sort of glue gunner and you have a tack zone, it just works so well. You just need to make sure that the glue gunner can pop at least 1 layer of balloon, so that any leads that come through just instantly get killed. Okay, so we're doing quite fine here. Got to keep an eye on the bank so that we don't miss when to collect it. But yeah, once again, we're pretty much using the exact same strategy here. So weirdly enough, I've become comfortable. Like, I've become comfortable doing this. Like this, oh, okay. Spike Factory and clutch. Had to use the ability there. Could have done to use it a bit sooner, honestly. But yeah, I've kind of gotten a little bit used to playing Alternate Bloons round after these, like, 5 games or so. Don't get me wrong, it's still hectic, but I'm slowly getting there. Slowly getting used to it. And I definitely recommend getting the bloon solver before you get your tack zone, because bloon solver here can pop leads. Tack zone cannot, sadly. It's the same deal with like getting a 5th tier crossbow master for the dart monkey. Like, you definitely want to get that before anything else, because first of all, it's cheap. Can we survive that? Yeah, okay, we seem to be doing fine. If not, we can restart with our abilities. Okay, yeah, we got it handled. Okay, there's our bloon solver. So, yeah, it's like me always going for like a crossbow master dart monkey as my first 5th tier. The reason I do it is because, first of all, the bottom path is the crossbow master one, and it gives you camo detection as you go along it. But a lot of people don't know this because it's not written on the actual 5th tier upgrade. But once you hit crossbow master, your dart monkey boy can see leads as well, or can pop leads as well, I should say, which is just insane. Because at first glance, the only way you can pop camo leads as a dart monkey is 2 at the bottom and 4 at the top, I believe. So you need like a juggernaut to be able to do that, but honestly, 5 at the bottom, got you covered. Got you covered perfectly. Alright, so now what should we focus on? We've got a pretty good defense set up now. We will spawn in the drones because Moabs are a pain, but honestly, our glue gunner's got it covered. Alright, so I think we'll go for our tack zone next. And then, once again, the recursive clusters, and then maybe an arcane spike, just to see how well that goes. Alright, so we won't. It doesn't look like we'll be able to afford the tack zone before wave 63, which is fine. We can still handle 63 with just our glue gunner. We know this. Wow. Oh wow. Are you guys seeing that? Some balloons are popping back here because the glue gunner is actually missing. But when it does, it shoots like a little bit further along over here and absolutely just preemptively destroys. Okay, so spawn in the drones here because this is our first fortified BFB. Spawns in a fortified Moabs, but we've got it covered. Okay, that was a little too close for comfort, and by close for comfort I mean it almost got onto this part of the track, which doesn't mean that we were dead, but it certainly is frightening. So we're going to try and get the tack zone as soon as possible, because that'll help us out in dealing with pretty much anything that comes the other way. Okay. So once again, wave 62. If you're feeling unsure, turn off auto start, and then it'll stop you at the end of the wave. It won't start wave 63 without your permission. Now don't get me wrong, I do think we can handle wave 63 with just the bloon solver, but I want to see how well our bank does here. Do we need the ability? It does not look like it, no. Alright, so, how well has our bank done? 8,500, it's only 1,000 off, but 8,500 is still plenty enough to get the tack zone. Well, admittedly it was very close not getting the tack zone, but still. We managed it, and now we're pretty much just able to chill out for a bit, because every time we get to wave 63 and absolutely destroy it, we can sort of kick back and relax, grab a snack and watch. So, get your popcorn, get your drinks, whatever you want. Spiked balls are a luxury, and we are enjoying them. Alright, so we'll also just remove this, because we can set up a few more things around this area. But mainly, I want to get ourselves an Arcane Spike right around here, if possible. There we go. I think that's what we'll be aiming for next. And honestly, I feel comfortable enough to say that in a few rounds we'll be able to afford it, so I'll just skip straight to then. Alright. Arcane Spike easily achieved. Now we should definitely have no problems dealing with all the BFBs and mobs coming our way. The only problem now is we haven't versed ZOMGs yet, so we're not sure how good we are against them. And we're also not sure about DDTs. We have not had the misfortune of showing up against them just yet. So our bank's almost full. Need to keep an eye on that. Other than that, I'm not really sure what else we could do. I guess we could get our recursive clusters. Collect from the bank. It wasn't actually full. Oh, one of my dogs is pissed off at something. Don't know what it is, and I apologize if you can hear it, but it's probably just like the postman or something. Okay, so let's go for these recursive cluster boys, because they deal quite a lot of damage and can help us out quite a lot here. So recursive cluster, let's close. Oh, wrong upgrade, but that's fine. We'll just leave it. Honestly, it's just going to cost even more money to remove it and then buy it back, so we'll just leave it alone. We'll also get another wall of fire here, just to protect us a little bit. And then I think with all the extra cash that we have, obviously we'll buy another tack shooter and spike factories. But, oh, almost pressed that accidentally. That's the thing I don't like about one of the latest updates is now when you click on a tower, like the second you go off the screen, even if you're not clicking anymore, like you can tell the difference between clicking and not. Even if you're not clicking, it'll once you click on a tower, it drags it over. I'm not really a fan of that. I liked it better when you had to click and hold. That way I knew that I was like picking up a tower and moving it. But now it's just click and drag, and then I might accidentally place it if I'm trying to click on something else. Alright, so we're doing quite well. I think we've got this pretty much on lockdown. I guess I should really avoid saying that nowadays, huh? We've got this under control. Under control. That's better terminology for it. Also, I really wanted to get a couple unpopped armies in this, just because it was in the title description of the Odyssey. Something about beating the waves with an unpopped army. So we will just place those guys for a little bit of extra fun and some damage. It's not going to be too much extra damage, but it'll at least help out. Okay, I don't know what my dogs were barking at, but it seems to have stopped being a threat, so that's good. There's nothing more threatening my home now. Well done, doggos. You've saved me. Alright. So, we've got 1 spike balls, 2 tack shooters left to get. We'll put one of them right around here to help out the wall of fire. Get our lovely overdrive. And then another one. Maybe another one also around the wall of fire. Just to like really mess them up, you know? Like, the second they get past through all this, they think, oh, we're in the clear. Most of the big damage boys are back there. And then they suddenly show up to a wall of fire and 2 overdrives. And they'll be like, oh no, whatever will we do? I guess we'll walk blindly into this. Which is quite hilarious. I love the fact that, like, it's very weird, and it's also very dumb. But I love to question games about, like, the very niche little concepts. Like, for example, Bloons Tower Defense 6. Why do the balloons have to follow a path? Why could they not just go from here to here if they were really trying to get there? Or they see all the monkeys' defenses over there and just fly around the entire area. You know? Like, just because there's a designated path, don't have to use it. Alright. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking about that, because that's sort of a little bit boring. Okay. So we've got now 2 lots of spiked balls. We've got some lovely tack shooters in overdrive. We've got some necromancy going on here. Absolutely beautiful. Everything you want in a BTD6 game, let alone a BTD6 map. You want some necromancy, you want some bombs that explode into more bombs, you want really big tack sprayer, you want an amazing glue gunner, which prior to BTD6 would have been a laughable thing to say. And yeah, overall we're just straight chilling. We'll even get spiked mines. for our last boy here. I give it to him because he was the first one I placed, and this guy hasn't got the experience to handle spiked mines just yet, so we'll just leave it down to that. Alright, and I think we're pretty much just going to cruise through to the finish line now. I don't think there's too much that can stop us. Even DDTs are going to struggle here. Oh, we can get another wall of fire. What am I doing? How dare I forget that? Okay, but everything else seems pretty chill. Etienne, how are you doing? Almost level 20. Almost can control 4 drones at one time, which is going to be amazing. Suppose we could just collect from the bank and then deposit into Etienne. I mean, while he's basically on his last little stretch of leveling up here, we may as well help him along, right? How cheap does it get? Oh, okay, so it gets pretty cheap. So we'll help him out. We'll buy that one. And then this one is the Ultra upgrade. Once you get this, you're pretty much sitting pretty. At least for regular game modes. If you're trying to do this on Odyssey, like fast-tracked from way back when, we discovered that Etienne wasn't the greatest hero for it. Alright, so let's just buy this. This upgrade, essentially, your second ability would usually spawn this guy in, and he would start shooting missiles at the front lot of balloons. But when Etienne reaches level 20, your surveillance drone becomes a permanent UCAV. When activated, becomes even more powerful for a short time. So instead of this ability summoning him, it makes him more powerful, and it makes him shoot fun green rockets. Greeny blue rockets. So there's an example right there. Also, there was the first DDT, so it actually timed in really well, coincidentally. Alright, but we're pretty much done here, in all honesty. Like, there's not much else for us to do. I suppose we can get a Prince of Darkness. So we'll just do that, I guess. Other than that, though... Oh. There we go. Perfect. Now that everything is placed. Okay, that is the end of this week's Odyssey. Well, I say... Yeah, okay, I guess it is this week. Okay, so here's our total. We had 50 lives remaining. We did have to reset a couple times there just to make sure, like, to fix a couple mistakes, like buying those rocks straight away. Not a great idea, but we managed to handle it in the end. We used Etienne. No powers were allowed, let alone able to be used. 8 cannons, 5 glue gunners, 5 banana farms, 9 spike factories, 14 wizards, and 13 tack shooters. I think I nailed all of those names perfectly. Alright, and now that the event of Halloween is over, we can now get our Insta-monkeys back. So there's 200 monkey money, got a lovely Necromancer Insta-monkey, and 50 trophies. Alright, absolutely beautiful. So that was The Darkness Rises Odyssey Part 2. Hope you guys all enjoyed that and found some tips and tricks, or maybe even a sort of helpful guide on how to play it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. And I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, guys.